Hercules. Hercules was born with odds against him. His father Zeus, who was the king of gods, was married to the goddess Hera. However, Zeus had an extramarital affair with a mortal woman, Alcmene, who became pregnant with Hercules. Hercules was born a demigod and showed his great strength early in his life. As an infant, Hera sent serpents to kill Hercules as he slept in his crib, but Hercules strangled them to death. Prometheus, possibly meaning forethought, was born a Titan god and was responsible for providing mankind with gifts to help them survive and succeed. Prometheus gave mankind the gift of fire, but how the gift was given can be told different ways. Achilles. Achilles was born to the sea nymph Thetis. To make her son immortal, Thetis submerged Achilles into the river Styx while holding Achilles by his heel. His heel remained exposed, which would be attributed to his downfall. Achilles was the star of the Trojan War, winning numerous battles during the 10-year war. Achilles' main triumph was slaying Hector, the prince of Troy. While Achilles was frequently victorious, he would be defeated by Paris near the end of the Trojan War. Paris shot an arrow that was guided by the gods to pierce the heel of Achilles. Today, the tendon that connects the heel to the calf is called the Achilles tendon. Odysseus. Odysseus was the king of Ithaca who provided much wisdom, counsel, and intelligence during the Trojan War. Odysseus recruited Achilles to lead the Trojan War, which contributed to the Greek victory. While Odysseus was victorious during the Trojan War, he is most known for his heroic return to Ithaca once the war was over. Facing Sirens, a Cyclops, and Scylla and Charybdis, the 10-year journey of Odysseus returning home was documented in Homer's The Odyssey. Once he returned home, he disguised himself as a beggar because his kingdom had presumed he was dead and requested his wife Penelope remarry. Though she did not want to, Penelope hosted a challenge among the suitors. If a suitor could string a bow and shoot an arrow through the heads of 12 axes, she would marry. Knowing that none of the suitors would be able to fulfill such a task, Penelope watched as suitor after suitor failed. The beggar attempted the challenge and was able to complete the challenge with ease. After he won, Odysseus revealed himself, killed each suitor with his bow, and reclaimed his life with Penelope. Perseus. The story that makes Perseus heroic is his victory in defeating Medusa. Medusa was a creature who could turn anyone who looked at her into stone. Perseus approached Medusa and used the reflection in his shield to view her without looking directly at her. Perseus was able to behead her and put her head in his satchel. On his way home, Perseus encountered Andromeda, who was bonded to a rock awaiting a sea monster to attack. Before the sea monster could attack, Perseus appeared and used the head of Medusa to turn it to stone, saving Andromeda and marrying her. When he returned home, Perseus discovered his mother had been abused by King Polydectes. To protect his mother, Perseus uses the head of Medusa to kill the king. Perseus then presented Medusa's head to Athena. Hector, the greatest warrior for Troy in the Trojan War. It is said that Hector killed 31,000 Greek fighters. Hector is featured many times throughout the Iliad, but it is his battle with Achilles that is most well known. Hector chooses to defend the house of Priam in the city of Troy, embracing his wife and son as he departs. Hector and Paris gather Trojan warriors and battle the invading Greeks. In his last battle, Hector fights Achilles, unknowing that Athena was helping Achilles in the battle. Depleting all of his weapons during battle, Hector mustered up the bravery to charge towards Achilles with only a sword, knowing he would be slain. Hector's bravery, courage, and strength through his battles in the Trojan War made him one of the most favored heroes in Greek mythology. Bellerophon. Bellerophon is one of the top 10 Greek heroes in mythology for his success at slaying the Chimera, who was a monster with a lion's head, a goat's body, and a serpent's tail. Before slaying Chimera, Bellerophon would capture the winged horse Pegasus to assist in slaying Chimera. Once captured, Bellerophon rode on the back of Pegasus to locate and defeat Chimera. Bellerophon boasted and grew arrogant upon killing Chimera, which resulted in his demise. Bellerophon's story is one of great strength and bravery, but also a reminder that you must stay modest. Aeneas, son of the goddess Aphrodite, Aeneas was a leader in the Trojan War, fighting for Troy against the Greeks. Even though Troy fell to the Greeks during the Trojan War, Aeneas would survive the war alongside the great leaders of Troy, Hector and Paris. Hector would come to Aeneas in a vision and tell him to flee to a new city overseas. Aeneas would finally reach the area which would be built and known as Rome. Orpheus. Known more for his music than his fighting ability, Orpheus is a hero for two reasons. He was an Argonaut in Jason's quest for the Golden Fleece, and he survived a quest that even Theseus failed. Orpheus went to the underworld to retrieve his wife Eurydice, who had died of snakebite. He made his way to the underworld's royal couple, Hades and Persephone, and persuaded Hades to give him a chance to bring his wife back to life. He got permission on condition that he did not look at Eurydice until they reached the light of day, something he was unable to do. Theseus. Theseus was one of the early kings of Athens, implementing democracy and fairness throughout the civilization. During his reign, men and women would be sacrificed to be eaten by a Minotaur, a half-bull, half-man creature. To stop the sacrifices, Theseus would be one of the sacrificed men to enter the labyrinth to kill the Minotaur. Entering the labyrinth, Theseus met Princess Ariadne. Ariadne would give Theseus a thread for him to unravel as he made his way through the labyrinth. This would show Theseus the way out of the labyrinth once he slew the Minotaur. Theseus was successful at slaying the Minotaur, and with the help of Ariadne, he found his way out of the labyrinth and took Princess Ariadne with him back to Athens. Cadmus. Cadmus was the Phoenician founder of Thebes. After failing in his quest to find his sister Europa, he wandered the land. During this time, he consulted the Oracle of Delphi, who ordered him to cease his wanderings and settle in Boeotia. There, he lost his men to a dragon of Ares. Cadmus killed the dragon, planted its teeth, and watched as armed men, the Spartoi, emerged from the ground. They fought each other down to the final five, who helped Cadmus found Thebes. Cadmus married Harmonia, daughter of Ares, but suffered from guilt for having slain the war god's dragon. As repentance, Cadmus and his wife were transformed into snakes. Jason. Jason was born the son of the deposed king of Iolcos. As a young man, he set out on a quest to find the Golden Fleece and thus restore his place on the throne. He assembled a crew of heroes called the Argonauts and set sail. He encountered a number of adventures along the way, including facing down harpies, dragons, and sirens. Although he was ultimately triumphant, Jason's happiness didn't last long. After he deserted her, his wife Medea murdered his children, and he died sad and alone. Atalanta. Although Greek heroes were overwhelmingly men, there's one woman that deserves a place in this list: Atalanta. She grew up wild and free, able to hunt as well as a man. When an angry Artemis sent the Caledonian boar to ravage the land in revenge, Atalanta was the hunter who first pierced the beast. She is also said to have sailed with Jason, the only female on the Argo. But she is perhaps best known for vowing to marry the first man who could beat her in a foot race. Using 3 golden apples, Hippomenes was able to distract the swift Atalanta and win the race, and her hand in marriage.